What's going on? It's Desi and Rex, and today we're gonna cover some different topics. Today we're gonna talk about if or when you should talk about the past with your partner you're dating. And your past could be your past experiences. Your past could be your experience, your people you dated, and it could be different situations you've been in. Uh, so what do you think? Let's just cover the first topic though. Uh, if you should even reveal your past to your partner in the first place, or if it's even necessary. So, what's your view?
I don't know.
What do you mean? I'll go then. I think I feel like, should you reveal your past? I feel like your past is something you hold sacred and it's your journey. But I also feel like being able to explain or reference different parts of your life, it shows experience, it shows stability, and it shows closure of that situation. You know, being able to deal with it. So, do I think every person you go on a date with, you should tell them about your past? No. Do I think there's certain situations where you should reveal your past? Yes. So whether it's in private or whether it's referencing other situations, or letting them know your experience in certain situations. So I say it's yes and no. Yes, if that person is valued and you're in a relationship and you want to relay that information, then yes. And I guess I'm saying you say no.
I say no because your past is your past and you want to create a new platform with your partner moving forward. And ideally, you can share a story with them as you please and choose. But a lot of people are territorial. A lot of people haven't experienced. People aren't from where you're from, so they don't even have a concept to have a more open mind over certain things. So I think you could gauge who you're dating and see what's appropriate and relay whatever information you want to relay. But I don't think that you should necessarily have to just talk about your past. I mean, you can if you want to, but you're not entitled to being an open book if that's not who you are naturally. And no, they don't. You don't owe anybody to tell your life. Honestly, as long as you're just telling the truth about who you are, I think that's the best thing. Yeah, but you don't have to tell the past. Don't lie about who you are, but you don't have to tell the past, in my opinion.
All right. When should you tell your partner about people they dated, or of references of people you dated, or maybe tell them about your experiences?
You go first.
I feel like shouldn't have to. You really don't have to put names and faces to anyone of your history or who you've dated if you're not around those people anymore. So, like, if I was telling them, if I had to explain a person I dated and I don't communicate with them anymore, or it's not a thing anymore, then I wouldn't like bring it to their attention. But if they ask me, I have no problem unveiling or updating them. But if my ex was the neighbor, or if my ex called me every once in a while to talk or to chit chat, and you go through my phone and you see them, then I feel like before it gets to that point, I can establish that, hey, such and such is my ex, and this is where I stand with them, and this is the status of our relationship, or we're friends, or we're not at that point, or why we broke up, or why we're not together. Just kind of, I guess it could build trust Some situations you really don't gotta explain yourself at all because you might just be like have a bad breakup and you'll never mention them. And you're never in contact with them. So if you're never in contact with them, it doesn't matter. No need to bring it up. If asked about it, it doesn't really matter. You be light with the conversation.
What if you have a kid, even if like the
If you had a kid, anybody who's dating you would probably, and if they're taking it serious, they would probably want to know the details. And so,
do you need to tell them?
I feel like you would probably, if females I met with kids, I definitely wanted to know the status. If I was taking them serious, like we were dating, maybe like I would like to know like the status of that because it's like, you know, if you want me to meet your kid, you know, obviously that's something I would like to know at least not like in details, but just like do you have a good relationship? You know, y'all can co-parent. You know, just simple things that could be red flags later on.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think?
About
when should you reveal? You know, your exes or you know, the status of your friendships with your partner.
I think that it's up to you. I feel like I feel like it really doesn't matter because when you move on to your new relationship should be exciting. Like you should be excited to move on. So don't get me wrong, you're probably at times potentially could still have feelings for your ex, could potentially miss your ex. But I think you would be excited to move on. And you may or may not need to mention your ex. I think that your person will want to know like what were the details a little bit, like how long were y'all dating? Do they still stay in your city? What made y'all split? Because in all honesty, it doesn't really matter. Because whatever they tell you is just going to be either a lie or their side of the story. So their truth is going to be like, nothing is going to depend on that in your relationship moving forward. Now, with your relationship moving forward, it would matter if they're going back to cheat on them, but it's just the same offense as if they would have cheated on anybody. So I don't think that the past matters because most people lie and just have their interpretation of the past. Anyways, what do y'all think about that?
And the final part is, all right. What kind of things that you feel like you should probably never tell your partner?
Things that you should never tell your partner?
Things that you wouldn't recommend telling your partner.
That could vary, but I really want to ask this question real quick before we go off on that. Now, about the past, you may tell your new partner about the past, but would you feel comfortable telling your ex about your new relationship? Like,
yeah, that's a good one. Do you feel confident enough to tell your ex about your new relationship? Or do you even have communication or a line of communication with your ex where you feel like you need to? You know, some people don't. So some people still speak to their ex. So who knows?
Would you put it like public? I feel like yeah. I feel like if you were somebody who was on like social media, you should put it on social media prior. Like for instance, me, I was never on social media prior to this relationship. So I don't know. It just was never a thing. Would I mind putting it on? I think I have put it on a few of my platforms, but I'm not on social media in general as well. But if I was, I feel like I would. Whatever is normal, ideally you would want that normalization to continue. That's how I kind of feel about it.
All right. Final part. What do we feel like we should never tell our new partners, or you should probably wait to tell your new partner? Things that you probably shouldn't tell your partner. I feel like it's already like in a bad situation if you feel like you have something that you need to hide or anything. So I feel like if you have the opportunity to have open dialogue with them, I would just reveal it all at once. That way, it's off the table. That way,
What
it's
kind of
nothing.
weird, like,
You could say anything. You could have
what
been.
would you not want to tell your partner? Because, I mean, they can't have offense to it because they don't have any background on you. You're just telling them who you are. So
Yeah, but it's
what would
also
you not
like
tell them?
people when you're in your past, you don't want to. You get represented one way. Like you don't. For instance, I was married before, right?
Mhm.
That might be. You might not want to lead your conversation with, "Oh, I was married before, but I'm trying to date." Also, another thing you might want to do. You might not want to be like, "Hey, I was in." You might want to. You might not want to reveal maybe your uh your living status. I mean, your living situation, or you might not want to reveal how you're working, your job status
But
at the
how can
moment.
you be dating? I mean,
I agree. Why
well,
would you date if you have issues? But people do. So
yeah.
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I wouldn't mind revealing my current situation, but I mean, other people would be like, maybe that would be a sensitive subject. The living situation or their work situation, or people are always on the up or on the down. So it's like,
The only thing I would say is if the guy I was talking to was saying that he has like gender fluidity issues or like he's something that he's experimental, like any sexual experiment, like it could be gender fetish, it could be like some like weird sexual thing. I don't mind if he's I for me I don't have fantasies of a bisexual man, but it could be anything that I don't know. I feel like that would be kind of like I don't know. I feel like that would be weird because for me, I just unless I had a fantasy about that, I feel like that would be like weird.
taboo.
But then he wouldn't date me if he wasn't interested in women. So that's the only thing. Like, oh, I don't know. That's weird. I feel like I would not want. But see, that's the thing. Honestly, I don't think that there's anything that you can't tell somebody. It's more so the situation of somebody not being like truthful about who they are, like authentic. You should tell somebody where you like how you're living. You should tell somebody that you were previously married. You should tell somebody like what you got going on in your life. I don't see why you wouldn't. But because for me, I was in a relationship where I felt like the guy was potentially not really maybe like was potentially bisexual, and I just felt like I was just like arm candy for a little bit. And I'm kind of a cute girl, but I just felt like I was never that type of person to be like just for show. And I just felt like he didn't have his life aligned with anything besides just like I don't know. I think he was finding he was trying to find his sexuality and impress his dad and stuff. So I don't know. That's like the only thing that would like kind of freak me out for me in my personal experience. But it could be anything. I mean, females have their like things that they want and things that they don't want, but she has to make that choice. Like, but guys see it different. A girl can't give guy advice for guys because girls are hard to date. So
For guys, I would say be straightforward, because actually being straightforward would probably show that you have a lot more. You have a plan and you have more like vision, and you're comfortable. Like you never want to get caught with your hand in a cookie jar. You know what I'm saying? All your moves need to have purpose. So I feel like you should always be transparent with like a lot of your moves, and it also reflects on your character and how you lead. So I mean, just try to be transparent, and you shouldn't have to, you know, kind of smooth your way in. As far as trying to get into a serious relationship, you shouldn't have to smooth your way in. You should be two individuals looking to find out the details they need to move forward. But that wraps it up. Comment, like, make sure you You can comment, leave a story of any experience you had, or maybe some type of experience that you thought was different, or whether you agree or disagree. Maybe you can leave your input or a new topic for next time. All right. Good night.